Cowboys Nation. How the hell y'all feeling right now?
Yo, this is Neville Gallimore from the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it?
Eugene, the hit machine, Dallas Cowboys on the
Man, Kelly, it seems like so long ago when I look at that intro, how times have changed.
Yeah, man. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Oh, but the
It's,
only good thing is
the best-
we're going back to AT&T, so we're going to get this thing right, I think.
That's right. We're back in the confines of AT&T Stadium, and thankfully I've had some time to get over the loss, and kind of move on with things, and it's about 24 hours is about my time to process things.
No, I'm with you, and that's why I said we got to look forward now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of tune everything out. You know what I mean? I got my own. I get in there on Twitter and interact a little bit, but I kind of tune everything out. I don't try to listen to anything because, I mean, if you listen to the national media people, or if you watch any of those shows, which I don't really watch much of that stuff, but if you watch any of that, it'll just drive you nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, basically I do the same. I don't watch on after a loss. I usually stay off Twitter for a little while, maybe till the afternoon, let everyone get the heat out. And there's a lot of, there's frustration, and I get it, but the mainstream media, they were having a field day. I'm sure. I didn't see some stuff. I saw a few highlights just come from people, putting little clips here and there, but I try and stay away. But before I forget, make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, share, all that kind of good stuff. Because we're always, at least I know I'm always bad at it. And Kelly, you probably got to help me out and say it more because I always forget. But we've had a lot of good things going on. We got more subscribers, and it's really a thanks to you guys in the audience that do like, subscribe, and share. Because I'm telling you, as much as we have this, to be modest, a nice following you and I have on Twitter and all the social media, it doesn't translate into YouTube. It's really it's a ground level, that you've got to do to build an audience and build a platform. And it takes everyone that's watching, everyone that tunes in to do it. So we really do appreciate it. And if you can continue to spread the word, let people know that Tag and K9, we're just not, dropping the hype videos and the post-game videos and getting in trouble on Twitter, at least for Kelly and, me doing my thing. So it's a lot of other stuff that we got going on. And just one other thing, if anyone is in Tampa, I got linked up with a Tampa Bay Cowboys Nation, and actually met a guy at a party, and he was a Cowboys fan, and got to talking, and he kind of heads the Tampa Bay chapter of Cowboys Nation and fans, and they go watch the games at the local bar and this and that, and it's a whole big group. So kind of got into it, and we're going to be working on some maybe live shows there and doing a lot of different things. So again, networking and getting the word out. But Cowboys Nations, we're all over the place, so it's really kind of cool. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for that. There's actually going to be an event. They're doing a road trip. So I think it's the Philly game when I'm there, and we're going to work on a tailgate. We're going to work not the tailgate we did, but we're going to work on maybe a Saturday night thing, and I'll let everyone know. And even if you're not from the Tampa area and you're always going to be welcome. We'll have a NFL player out there doing some meet and greets and things like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun, but it may make our next year's tailgate even bigger because we're going to drop that maybe in with us, and we might have to get some volunteers to sit. I already warned Fred. We might have to get some volunteers to sit out on the street all day.
Yeah, if we did a good this one was a good one, but we definitely realized that afterwards we need more than one space for the tailgate. One space was a little short. We started spilling into the space next to us. So yeah, we could definitely, if we're gonna be adding some people, we're gonna definitely have to go, probably about 3 deep. What's up there, Cam? Thanks for tuning in. It's
Yeah,
always good to see her in the chat.
yeah,
But yeah, no, it's um it was fun, and expanding and networking and all that good stuff. That's what it's all about. We're trying to make this thing bigger,
yeah.
and everybody that participates in this, you guys are all a part of it and helping. So it, like Mike said, it's a grassroots thing on this YouTube. We gotta build this thing from the ground up. But I like to quote that Drake song. I just keep it started from the bottom. Now we here. We're gonna be playing that eventually one time. Me and Mike, we're gonna be started from the bottom. Now we here.
Yeah.
Once you guys, and everybody, y'all, we all just, it's all gonna come to the top. You guys coming along for the ride. So
Yeah, and I
can't
always
wait for it. But
I always use Jay Tuck as an example. Now we're not as crazy as
yeah,
him. We're not as in depth as him. I mean, that man puts in a ton of work on the draft coverage and everything. But I just remember going on his show, and he had about 220 subscribers, and now I think he's well over 10,000. And I mean, he puts out great
yeah,
content and stuff like that.
yeah.
He's starting rumors and all this kind of stuff. So that's what you aspire to do, and again, it's a ground level work. But speaking of,
Yeah.
we've got a good guest tentatively, just waiting on confirmation on the date. But it looks like this one's kind of cool to me because he's a Miami Hurricane, and he also played with the Dallas Cowboys. He's not known so much for the Dallas Cowboys, but he played a very important part of the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl in the 90s, and he also won a national championship with the Miami Hurricanes. So I'll let you guys in the chat, if you guys know it, you guys can put it in there. If not, you'll find out soon enough. But definitely excited about that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But you put a tweet out, and I kind of put it out too. So let's like I said, let's move on to New England. And I guess you can't talk about New England without the return of Zeke coming back to
21.
AT&T, and I'll be there. I think he'll get a good reception. I mean, I would cheer
Yeah.
for him if when he gets announced and everything like that. He didn't
Yeah.
do anything. He didn't leave on bad terms. It just
No.
was one of those things. But I was listening to 105.3, and they asked Jerry about Zeke's return, and Jerry had a lot of good things to say, and it kind of hinted that they might have a special kind of thing planned for his return. And I had put something on Facebook, and I didn't even know you put it on Twitter. And it was kind of the same thing. It's like, we love Zeke, and that's great, but man, you could do that, but you can't get Jimmy Johnson in, huh? It's just weird.
Yeah, I get it. They do that a lot of times. Though a guy comes back, he was an integral part of the Cowboys and everything. But I mean, it's okay to appreciate Zeke. I'm fine with that little video tribute or anything like that. But when we're talking about Zeke, you're giving him this little tribute and doing all this and stuff. But I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, man, Zeke walks away with a part of 2 playoff wins. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I love the guy. I ain't trying to throw no shade at him or nothing like that. But, it just seems pretty trivial that Jerry is like, yeah, we're going to celebrate Zeke. We're going to do this or whatever that. We're like, but like he won't celebrate a guy that started a dynasty. I mean, and refuses to talk about it. And almost seems like he gets salty when you ask him about it. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
To me, it's just another, kind of thorn in my side, man. I mean, I know at the end of the day, man, Jerry's the one that makes that decision, but it's just one of those things where it just bugs me.
Yeah.
It bugs me. And, I just, yeah, I don't know, man.
It's just
Yeah.
petty, but I mean, we we're going to beat a dead horse. It's not going to change anything. But I just thought it was
No.
interesting that our minds were thinking the same, and I'm sure there was some other Cowboy people thinking the same. And Zeke, hey, 16 carries, 80 yards last week. He's averaging
Yeah.
4.4 yards a carry. Doesn't have
Yeah.
a touchdown yet. Hopefully that won't happen on Sunday. He'll be shut
Yeah.
out, but I mean, he's averaging 4.4 yards a carry. He's kind of doing what Zeke did in Dallas, which kind of begs the question. And I know it's been refuted, and I know analytics and stuff have kind of squashed it. But looking at the red zone woes for the Cowboys. I mean,
Yeah,
the thing that people, our offense, a lot of people say offense is struggling. Offense is not struggling until it gets inside the red zone. So it is struggling because you got to
it is.
count that. But when they get inside the red zone, what are they, 2 of 11? I don't know. I forgot what it was the
Pretty
last
bad.
games and a
Pretty
touchdown.
bad.
But you and I talked about the running game, and we love Pollard and we love the way they're set up. And I did see a question about Deuce Vaughn, and we'll touch on that as well. But do you think this team misses Zeke when it comes to the red zone?
Well, when you break it down and you look at it, we've only had a couple situations throughout these where it's been actually like from the goal line. A lot of it's within the 20, your red zone where you're in the 20s. So you're at the 10-yard line, you're at the 12. There has been a couple situations where we have had it though within that 5-yard line. We had the one, I think, against the Jets where we were literally on the goal line.
Yeah.
To me, if you're on the 1 or the 2 and you can't punch it in with your running back and you've got 3 chances to do that, there's a problem there. Whether it's the blocking scheme, whether it's your running back not finding the holes, whatever that may be, that's a problem. Like in my opinion, if you're on the goal line or you're on the 2-yard line, there is no excuse that you should not get a touchdown, whether that be, and you throw the ball, run the ball, however you want to get it done. But running the ball has been the key of this offense. We tend to run block. This offensive line tends to run block really well. And so, yeah, I mean, whether it's Zeke, whether it's, I don't necessarily buy that it's the Zeke and Schultz. I've heard Zeke and then I've heard Schultz.
Yeah.
Now they talk about Schultz, even though against the Jets game, our tight ends had 2 touchdowns. Schoonmaker and Ferg both had one. So I'm not really totally buying that. I do think our tight ends need to get a little bit better. But right now, I think, like Mike McCarthy said, they're just not executing. They're not executing they're just doing a poor job at executing. So if I'm Mike McCarthy and I'm in practice, man, that's what I'm working on. I mean, I am drilling that heavy this week is red zone offense.
Yeah.
Because we got to get better, plain and simple. We got to get better. If we were more efficient versus the Cardinals in red zone offense, we win that game. We walk away from that game with a win. So it's just disappointing to see us struggling in that aspect because I thought this offense, they've been able to move the ball. I mean, you look at this team; they were moving the ball up and down the field and doing it at ease for the most part. And then they just get in the red zone and they just spaz up. And tough to see that, but it's fixable.
It is, and one thing that just it's confused me for years, and maybe and you see it now. You're seeing Philly kind of do it all day long. I mean, if you need 1 yard or you're on the goal, I mean, why wouldn't you just sneak Dak? I mean, he's not a small guy.
Well,
I mean, why wouldn't you just fall forward?
yeah,
I mean,
it's frustrating because you watch a team like Philadelphia do that over and over and over and over, and you cannot tell me that Dak is just as powerful as Jalen Hurts is in terms of. I mean, he's
bigger,
the bigger guy. He's a bigger guy, and you watch a guy and it's all about execution and how you execute that play. Because even you look at the Patriots with Tom Brady, they did that for years. And I mean, I think they were the Eagles are along that same path where they're 65-2 converting that thing. I think at one time the Patriots with Brady were 89-1. They had been stopped once. If you get that down, I mean, it becomes a very handy tool in your offensive arsenal to be able to convert that and be able to do that quarterback sneak. And I don't see why we don't do it with Dak Prescott. I think it adds another element. I also don't understand why they refuse to get Dak running that ball a little bit more. I don't need him being a Lamar Jackson, but there's so many times where he puts that ball in the running back's belly that if he pulled it out, he'd walk in.
Great option. There was no one on that one side.
Yeah, I mean, there was a play in the Arizona game where he's handing the ball off, and literally, if he pulls that ball back out, he walks in.
Yeah.
So they've got to get more creative in terms of doing that. I don't know why they're so hesitant to let Dak run the ball. I get it. They had that injury, and I don't know if they're gun shy from that. You wouldn't think that they would be, but look, Dak, his legs are an asset. And if you're not using them, you're taking away an aspect of the offense to me. So I want to see him run that ball a little bit more, honestly.
No, you know what it reminds me a lot of it. Yeah, his his girlfriend or whatever. Yeah, she is stunning. Better not be distracted, my man. Like I saw, Taylor Swift. I don't get what the hype is with Taylor Swift. She's just not my type. But I mean, I don't get I just don't get I just
Yeah.
don't get it. I don't get the hype with her. But anyway, the thing is with Dak is it reminds me a lot of Madden football. I don't know if you've played Madden football or any of you guys out there play Madden football. I get caught doing this when I play. I want to I could easily just throw the ball, to my tight end, but I'm like, I got to get CD the ball so I can pad his stats, or I can easily run the ball inside the one. But like, you know what? I need to get my quarterback an extra touchdown to pad his stats. And then I end up throwing an interception. I just think the Cowboys just need to say, you know what? We're better than you. We're lining our guys up and we're going to score, period. Stop us. And I just don't know why, because it just seems like it's just not clicking in the red zone. And I heard McCarthy, and I like McCarthy. I'm going to get McCarthy needs to take the heat on that loss. But someone who seems to be getting a pass, I don't know why he gets a pass, is Dan Quinn. I mean, Jesus, the defense was pathetic in the first half.
Yeah.
So that's why I put a tweet out. There's enough blame to go around the Cardinals game for everyone.
There is.
What I'm saying is, I heard McCarthy, I think the first week or it was the second week, he said, yeah, it's going to take a little time. The defense is always faster. The red zone stuff, it's by week 5. We don't have week 5.
No.
We don't have week 5. You cannot lose games early in the season that are going to hurt you late. And that Cardinals game, Kelly, you and I talked about, I think we texted each other about, this one's going to come to bite him in the ass. Whether it becomes seeding, whether it become a tiebreaker, whether it become whatever, this one's going to come back and bite him in the ass.
Yeah, it most definitely could. You don't want to lose games like this. It's different if you drop the San Francisco game because, that's a team that you can live with that loss.
Yeah.
I don't. This is just one of those head scratchers. I know that people, there's people that are like, hey, Arizona played tough, but I mean, hey, you look at it like this, man. The New York Giants and the Commanders both were able to beat them, and we're significantly better than both of those teams. Hands down, not a question in my mind. We're significantly better. Do I think Philly's going to lose to Arizona? No, I don't. So you've got all 3 of our NFC East rivals that will get wins over Arizona, and we dropped one. That's a big drop. I mean, there's just no excuse in my mind for us losing that game. And, I did see a quote by Dan Quinn that he was disappointed, and he did take some ownership on this, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Because his defense came in, and I tell you what, it had me wonder where the hell was the defense that we saw the first 2 weeks, because you can't sit there and tell me that what was that Arizona Cardinals offense is just that much better than what we faced in the Jets and what we faced in New York, because I don't buy that for a damn second. It's Josh Dobbs. You don't let him, you don't let him beat you in the pass game. You don't let the Arizona Cardinals run for, 200 yards. I mean, that's just it. It reminded me a lot of that Rams game when the Cowboys got ran off. It left a really bad taste in my mouth. And I just kept thinking to myself, San Francisco runs it. They run a lot of those same little schemes, getting out wide. They run right at Micah Parsons. They get your backers out, sideline to sideline. Van Der Esch did not have a good game. He was not, he wasn't making tackles. He missed a few tackles, had some bad reads. So it's just one of those things that you got to fix that shit, because you can't go into a team like San Francisco. Shit, they'll rush for 250, 300 yards on us if we're playing like that. Yeah. So that has to be fixed. But yeah, it's just disappointing to see that kind of effort, that kind of output in a game when we started out the season looking so great and complete on all sides of the ball. Obviously still some red zone issues, but look good scoring the ball and doing the most out of the opportunities we had. So
yeah. And I know there's a question on Mozzie. I'll be honest, I don't know what his snap count was, but I'll tell you, it surprised me. But again, you look at the numbers, they didn't get their yards from the defensive tackle. They got the yards all outside. And that tells me it's all a lot of the linebackers, to Kelly's point, to your point about it, Kelly, with Van Der Esch. And I think the linebackers had a bad game. I think our safeties had some bad angles on some stuff, which gave up huge yards. How does Dobbs get outside and run for 50 yards on one play? So, I'm not going to Hankins and, the defensive tackles, as far as the running side, they weren't getting gashed. It was
No.
everything was outside, which, again, I was a little surprised when I saw the numbers, but if those numbers are accurate, and that's, Pro Football Focus and all those analytical guys, that's what they ran. So it's definitely something that they've got to fix. And Van Der Esch, he just looked, I don't know, everyone looked a step slower. Everyone just looked a step slower on defense. And now you're going against the Patriots. And I looked up the Patriots trying to see what they have. They are passing for 6 yards an attempt, Mac Jones. They do not have a player, not one wide receiver on their team or running back, anything that's averaging more than 9.9 yards per reception. So they're not taking any shots deep. They're not getting anything deep. Everything has been underneath. We shouldn't get beat over the top. We should be able to play a close game, play inside and just maybe challenge them. The receivers aren't threats by any stretch as far as anything you should be scared of. Their defense is, we'll get into their defense. I mean, they haven't given up a ton of points. They've played some teams tough. So, Philly was 25-20 or something like that. And
yeah, 25-20.
And I think the Jets were 15-10. So they're not scoring a lot,
no,
but they're not giving up a lot of points. So this will be an interesting matchup. And you got to think that the Patriots they're gonna test our run defense first.
I think they will. And which brings to the point. I've been, I won't say unimpressed with the pass game, because I like the fact that Dak hasn't been turning it over. They got Michael Gallup involved this last week. We saw him, but there hasn't been a deep threat to this offense so far. A lot of the stuff's been over the middle, but we haven't went, and we got Brandon Cooks,
Yeah, and I'll just say, just to cement that, I want you to keep going. Dak is averaging 6.3 yards of attempt.
Right.
There was times Dak was averaging 9 yards.
Or at least, I think at one point he was, over 12.
Yeah.
Because I know at one point he was one of the guys that threw one of the better deep balls in the league, and he still can do that. It's just we're not really pushing the ball down, so it's leaving everything congested. These guys are playing up on us. I'd like these defenses to start respecting our ability to go deep, and we just you don't see a lot of deep shots, and the ones that you do, the guys are covered. The ones that the deep throws that they get, you don't really see those to be open, and it's disappointing because I thought Brandon Cooks would be the guy that could take the top off take the top off. He's a guy that is known for a deep threat. He's a speedster, and even working in a guy like Turpin and getting a deep shot with Turpin. He's also a guy that's quick and speedy. So I don't know. I'd like to see some more plays down the field and kind of open up that offense just a little bit more, because I feel like everything, like Cam said, it's kind of like a dink and dunk, type deal. Now, granted, it's moving the ball, but when you get down into the red zone, that dink dunk, it becomes a lot harder because everything's more congested. Yeah. And that tends to make things harder for the offense. So if you're not running the ball well down there inside the red zone and you're forced to throw the ball, then you're going to start seeing those, the mistakes, whether it be, having to kick field goals instead of score touchdowns, or, Dak ending up pressing and throwing an interception, which, on the interception of the Cardinals, there was a lot of people. And as soon as he did it, they're jumping up and they're saying,
oh, yeah.
That same old Dak, Dak, lost the game for us. Listen, Dak was not the reason that we lost the game. Now, he did shut the door on any opportunity we had to win the game with that interception. He did seal the game with that interception. But he did not lose us that game. I don't put that loss on Dak. I thought Dak overall played pretty well. Obviously struggles in the red zone. That's a team thing. There's a lot of things you can point to. The CeeDee Lamb throwing his hand up instead of going to get the ball, he's looking for a flag. There was the play that they missed, the penalty that they picked up the flag on Michael Gallup. I don't know why they picked that up. That was pass interference.
Yeah,
the guy
he even clearly
was pushing him before the ball even got there. And I don't know how you can look at that and pick the flag up and say it's not a penalty. So there was a lot of things to go around. Penalties, undisciplined play. That's something that really made me sick to my stomach, because that's something we've talked about. Like this team looked like they had got that cleaned up. And then there was laundry all over the field all day long. You just can't win a game when you're playing that poorly in every aspect of the game.
It was just undisciplined, and and it's just I'm not going to overreact. That's the one thing I won't do. I'm, like
No.
someone say, "Oh, this most undisciplined team." Right? All the penalty. I mean, we didn't have penalty issues the first two games. We didn't have really penalty issues last year. We didn't have penalty issue the year before. Then someone's like, "Oh, we got to get rid of McCarthy." Well, I mean, we're 2-1. We won 12 games the last 2 years. These are the same people that are bitching for Sean Payton, and look how that's working out in Denver. You want to get 70 dropped on you? I mean, that's why I think you said it best in your videos. Like on the Cowboys, just let's pump the brakes on the Cowboys a little bit. I mean, we all got excited. We all got, hey man, we're fans and we're hungry for that championship like no other. So we're a boisterous, fan base anyway. So a little humble pie, it doesn't hurt you every now and then. We just don't want to make it a habit.
No, exactly. I don't want that to be a habit. I mean, I like me, I like to be a loudmouth and talk a little bit of shit. So I was enjoying it. I was feeling myself over the first 2 weeks, but then when they lose, I say it all the time, man. It's easy to get on there and celebrate a victory when it's in our favor, but it's very hard to get on there and talk through it when it's a loss, because there's a lot of emotions involved.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that tend to, start to overreact. But I don't think that, typically I'm not somebody that's going to get on there and be the guy that's like, oh my God, the sky is falling. Like, listen, there's 14 games left in this season. That is a long, 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 long time to figure things out, man. A long time. There is going to be more injuries that are going to happen that we'll have to work through. But I mean, the thing is, we've got time. We've got 14 games, and we're going to be one of the teams that's going to be in the mix in the end. I have no doubt about that. I don't think this team's fallen off a cliff. I think still a 3-team race between Philly, the Cowboys, and San Fran. But I have full confidence in the Cowboys right now. I just think we need to pick some things.
I mean, the example that you could put is we were, San Francisco. I mean, they were barely in the playoffs. They had to win their last game. It's not like they were. Everyone looks at San Francisco as this dominant. I think they were 10-7 one time, and the 1 year, and then it's not like they're just been world beaters. So you go through ebbs and flows of the season. But what I will say is, I thought we were past this. I mean, if you lose to San Francisco on the road, you lose to Philly on the road, you lose to a Buffalo on the road, you lose to a Miami on the road. Those are losses that are hard. Those are losses you don't want. Those are losses we definitely don't want to have. But you can accept that a little bit, right? I mean, top teams and those things are going to happen. You're gonna have those battles. Losing to the Cardinals that got their quarterback the month before, and that all this hoopla about their tanking for Caleb Williams, and it just seems like things aren't going their way. But their defense has played tough in their first couple games, even going into us. So that's the part that if there's something that sticks in my head, it's still there. The Cowboys team is still not either mature or focused. I mean, whatever you want it to be, but there's still that chance that they're going to lay an egg against an inferior team. So that's the part that kind of makes me a little concerned as the year goes on, is because it's always going to be in the back of my mind is, are they going to show up to play Washington? Are they going to show up to play, what any other crappy team that we've got left on the schedule? And that's the part that concerns me.
And it does for me too, because, like I said in the show last week, which to the chagrin of Eugene Lockhart, I talked about us going in there. We were going to smack them around because I felt like I felt like this team was that we were kind of the bullies on the block now. It's like I felt like that team, the team that showed up and just stepped on the throats of the Jets, stepped on the throats of the Giants, and showed them no mercy. I felt like that was the team that we were going to see on a consistent basis. And I didn't think we'd win every game. I didn't think we'd go 17-0. I knew we were going to lose some games along the way, but I didn't think we were going to lose a game to an 0-2 Cardinals team. No. And again, I'm not going to sit there and some people were like, well, that's a scrappy Cardinals team. That was their Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. Every game that we play against somebody else is their Super Bowl when it's the Cowboys. Everybody wants to beat the Cowboys, especially when the Cowboys are good, and especially when they've been as good and as talked about as they were those first 2 weeks. So I don't buy that.
Yeah.
You know, Micah Parsons was quoted as saying, "Hey, we gotta play. We can't play down to our opponents. We have to, play our game or whatever." Well, I mean, that should be every week. I mean, at this point, because he talked about it the week before. He talked about how this was a different team. He felt like this team was different and all this stuff. Well, you're not, though. If this is the output that you guys put out to the Arizona Cardinals, then you're not. You are buying your own hype. You guys are believing what the national media is talking about. They're already talking Super Bowl in week 2. It's way too early for that. And, and we were feeling like this team was a special team. Unfortunately, we got a wake up call as fans. It's way too early for that. We got to kind of temper our expectations a little bit and hope that McCarthy and Dan Quinn can fix these issues, because that's the good thing that we've repeatedly said is all these issues are fixable.
Yeah. And, Cassie said it, and Eugene said it, but she said it best. I mean, we're going to get everyone's A game. You look at what happened. I mean, Dobbs goes viral on a reel or whatever with his jersey. Now they're selling his jerseys and all this stuff. It makes all the headlines into things. So we're always going to get the player's best game. Eugene Lockhart said it best. If you missed it, I got it pinned to my profile. You can watch it real quick before I drop a hype video and end that stuff, because we're going to get back to business. But, the Cowboys had a tough week. I wanted to bring in, of course, you guys know Uncle Cheech. He's been on fire, but he even got cooled a little bit. So we're going to get to your questions too, because I see a lot of stuff in the chat asking about the secondary, asking about Deuce Vaughn. So we're going to get you in. But more importantly, if you're feeling down, you want to get built up a little bit. We're talking about getting a little scud all in your pocket. We want to make you guys a little bit of money. So we bring in Uncle Cheech. If you guys didn't see his picks on Monday, we're going to run through them really quick. We're going to go through the picks, but let's get Uncle Cheech on here real quick.
All right.
All right, now, Uncle Cheech, how are you today?
Oh, good. How you doing, guys?
Oh, well,
I know you're not doing too good.
We'll be doing better Sunday after we whoop that ass. And I just want to make one thing clear, because I'm going to say it because I know his ass is watching it. Sometimes you get these guys that send you text and they send you tweets after they lost, and they send you this stuff, and they didn't say anything the first 2 weeks. And now all of a sudden they want to send stuff, and they just happen to be Patriots fans. So I said, all I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell it, I want everyone to hear it, because that way they know. Your asses better have that phone on at the end of the game. Now, my phone will be on too. If something happens, God forbid, but I don't see it happening, your asses better have that phone on, because I'm going to be calling you. Don't go chucking me to voicemail. Don't go being a coward, because all you guys come out of the woodwork whenever we lose. But when we're beating that ass the first 2 games, I didn't hear nothing from nobody. I didn't hear a peep from anyone. And then we lose 1 game, and all of a sudden they come out. So anyway, so I apologize, Uncle Cheech, but I had to get that off my chest. But more importantly,
a lot of football left. Don't worry about it.
A lot of football left.
That's right.
And more importantly, you were 2-2 last week. You're running your total. What are you, like 14-3 or some crazy number?
Yep. I got my lock one. That's the most important. 4-0 on my locks. 20% through the season. If you would have played my locks, like I told you, one team, you'd be way ahead of the game right now.
Yeah. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to give you the Uncle Cheech, and we bring the best in the business. Go look at ESPN. Go look at Fox Sports. Look at their insiders and look at their shitty ass record. You got Uncle Cheech on here killing it. Forget the upsets. That's a fun play for you. Take those upsets out. I think he's lost 1 game all year.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
So what do you got real quick? What are you looking at for this week? Run down your picks.
Okay. My first pick's going to be, I call it the shit bowl. It's going to be Denver at Chicago. I'm going to take Denver -3.5. I think they're a little bit better. Not much, but a little bit.
Ooh.
I mean, those are 2 teams that are
I
in.
wouldn't bet on either team, but I'm just having a little fun.
Yeah.
Okay, my second one is going to be Southern Cal at Colorado.
Oh, wow.
They're going to get their ass beat again. I'll take USC minus 23.
Woo!
40-something last week. I told Eugene
Eugene didn't listen to you.
it was going to be a rude awakening. Not going to
Yeah.
be any different this week. But I don't want people to think I'm ragging on Dion, because I'm not. He resurrected a once great program. It's only his first year. Give him a little time. He's got things headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. But they're not even in the same league right now.
No, not as USC. Nope. That's going to be a
that's
tough
going
one.
to take some time. Take some time.
Okay, for my upset, and it won't be too much of an upset, but actually they're underdog. Miami at Buffalo. I'll take Miami at 2.5. Anybody lay 70 on somebody, I don't care who they are. I'll take 72.5. They can win by.
But do you think sometimes, I should look back, but maybe, but you see these teams that have these big performances, these big outputs. Are they due for a letdown?
It's possible, but that team looked just so fast.
They're so fast.
So fast.
I
They're
think
very fast.
Denver laid down. I quit. That's what they did.
Well,
and I would have kicked the last one. I would have tied the record.
Hey,
let them remember forever the night they played the Dolphins. That's what I say.
Yeah. Damn right. I don't. Yeah, I don't. It's funny because they talked to Coach McDaniels, and he talked about the fact that they didn't think that it would be good karma to do that. And I thought, did you not think that when you ran it up to 70? You get all the way to 70? You get to 70, and that's when you start talking about sportsmanship? I mean,
you're right.
Come on. Well,
never took I've got it.
I gotta tell you, Cheech. You're down in South Florida. You got the pulse of the community. If anyone hasn't Googled Mike, is it Mike McDaniel, right? The coach.
Yep.
Just Google the picture of him as the ball boy for the Denver Broncos. And then also Google a picture of him when he's dancing as he's walking during practice or they're doing something. And there's memes, there's all these things. This is the guy that dropped 70 on an NFL football team. It's amazing because he don't look like a coach. I mean, he had the listen. He listened to some 90s hip hop. He had the 2 earrings. He had the hair dyed and all that kind of stuff. And it was football's changed. I mean, some of these coaches.
I've never seen it in my life. I've been watching football for 50 years, and I've never seen one professional team lay 70 on another one. I know it's happened before, but I personally never saw it. I couldn't believe my eyes. It's like one team was in slow motion. And plus, if they're getting Waddle back, I'll take the 2.5 points.
They just look. I remember that Rams offense that they called the greatest show on turf, and that's kind of what they remind me of with all that speed. Because man, you talk about some of the guys they already got with Waddle. And you got Tyreek Hill. And now here comes this A-chain running back that they drafted in the 6th round.
Oh, yeah.
That kid he was one of the fastest players on the field. They had his clock time. He was right up there with Tyreek Hill with how fast he was at the running back position.
Players, they were all Dolphins. They had
all of them.
With 6 of them, and they were all Dolphins, every one of them. And that's without Waddle being there.
Yeah, unbelievable the speed they have on that team.
Yeah.
But, every dog has their day. You saw that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're all professionals.
Well,
that's right.
That's
professional. Right. Okay, for my lock, the college game, I'm going to take Clemson -7 at Syracuse as my lock.
Now, I didn't know Syracuse was ranked.
They're
undefeated.
Surprised. They're ranked.
Yeah, I was surprised. And Clemson looked good against Florida State. I thought, if Dabo would have coached a little bit better, I think they'd win that game.
Well, Dabo, he's going to I told you, his back's against the wall now. They got 2 conference losses. And now this year in the ACC, it's the first place against second place for the championship. No more East and West.
Yeah.
If he loses another game, he's done.
Yeah.
They'll be playing in, the Armed Forces Bowl or something like that, if they're lucky. But I think my Hurricanes are going to take care of them, too, anyway.
Well, I'll be down to see you for that one. I'm looking forward to that game.
I'll be here. I'll be looking for you.
No, yeah, we'll definitely meet up. So it's going to be good, but hopefully, hopefully everyone, you guys got these picks. You can be smart about it. What do you say, Uncle Cheese? No parlays. Stay away from the
No
parlays.
parlays. Play the one team. If you were betting 1,000 on each team, you're already $4,000 to the good plus your 1,000 you started with. And I told you, if you're eating beanie weenies, your wife's throwing you out, super glues your arms to your side, beats you with a broomstick, you call 1-800-GAMBLER. They'll give you all the help you need.
All right, and I gotta ask you, Uncle Chief, before we let you go, one question being down. You got the pulse of the community of Miami with the Hurricanes. Angelica is a Knowles fan. My man Steve is a fellow Canes fan. What are you thinking early with the Knowles and Canes? I mean, I thought it might get ugly as the weeks go on. I'm thinking, well, Miami, I mean, not so fast as Lee Corso said, right?
Right. Well, I agree. The only advantage Florida State's going to be at home, but Mario Cristobal made a lot of good changes. Got a big offensive line now. They protect that quarterback. I mean, what's his name? Travis, whatever his name is. He was running for his life a lot against Clemson.
Oh, he was. He was.
They didn't even touch. I know we didn't play the same caliber team, but he was just hitting everybody like nobody's business. Plus, we rushed for another 250 yards on top.
Yeah.
Or 280. So it's got showing a good balanced offense. I don't think they're going to blow us out. Not like last year.
No, it better not be like
I don't think. I mean, I might be wrong, but I don't think so. I can't see it.
Yeah.
I think we're heading in the right direction. Maybe next year after we'll be back in contention again.
No.
Get South Florida kids home.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, Uncle Cheech, we'll see you on Monday to see how you do. And then, of course, you'll be back on Monday, back on Wednesday. And I don't know if you heard, I know you're a Cane. Bernie Kosar might have to sneak you in for, maybe thanking him. He might have made you some money during some college games. Maybe you want to see old Bernie.
Bernie, better send me a box of cigars, Bernie. And I mean the big ones.
All right. See you, Uncle Cheech. Take care.
Guys, take care.
All right. We'll see you. Oh, well, there we go with Uncle Cheech. So, yeah.
Well, there you go, guys. You make you guys some money. I've seen some people on here talking about gambling, and just remember, gamble with the Cheech's advice. Don't gamble with your heart. And I've seen some people on here talking about their college teams. Sometimes you bet with your heart. I try not to bet on my college team, so I always bet with my heart, and it always bites me in the ass. So I ain't
absolutely. And no, we had some chat. We had some messages in here. So what do you? One of the questions was on. Well, let's start with the defense. So I saw something about the secondary. So. Okay. You got Diggs got hurt, obviously. Yeah. My 2 cents on it, I'll give you my 2 cents on it, is of course you're going to have an impact, but I think Dallas, I don't think it's the end of the season kind of injury. No. I think if you lost Parsons, something like that, because I still think we got the pass rush. And I think we're deep in the secondary. We're deep with our corners. Are you okay with Bland? Are you okay with J. Lou? Or do you think we got to go run out and get somebody? I
don't think we have to get anybody in the secondary. I think we'll be fine. There's some adjustments that need to be made. They're going to have to figure out that, they're going to have to figure out, it may not, at the end of the season, it may not be J. Lou that's out there at the slot. They may decide to move Bland back to the slot, and they may give somebody else another try, one of these younger guys out there. I mean, he's listed as a safety, but Mukwamu might, you might see him some at corner. You might see, your guy out there, Thomas, you might see him out there. So there's going to be some guys that are going to get opportunities like we've talked about. It's a long season. It's a long ways to go, 14 games to go to figure this thing out. I think we'll be fine. Obviously we got to be more disciplined in some of our, in our coverages, obviously that big blown coverage. But I believe that was Malik Hooker that blew that coverage and was supposed to have his man over the top that ended up in that, that long play that, guys just run wide open. Can't have shit like that going on. But everything, all that is all fixable. as far as that goes. But I think they'll get their rotation in, and we'll see what we'll see what we can do, man. We do seem to struggle, with teams that can use speed, which does concern me, considering that like I said, that we've got the 49ers. We do play Miami this year.
Yeah.
That's going to be that
Christmas Eve, no less, and
Yeah.
and maybe the NFL gods were doing me a favor, because I was supposed to go to that game, and I was all set to go. And typically when Dallas and Miami play really even in Dallas or Miami, it's always early. So I assumed it was probably gonna be like the second, third game of the year, But when it came out on Christmas Eve, maybe the NFL gods were saying, "Hey, Mike, we're gonna do you a favor on this one. You ain't gonna make that one."
Yeah, Christmas Eve, man. I might sit down, the night before Christmas Eve and write a little letter to Santa, let him know I've been good, and just tell him, hey, look, man, all I want is for us to put the clamps on this Miami offense and just throw them off rhythm. Can you please, not let this Miami team run all over us and do what they've been doing to everybody else? That's a really good team. It really is.
But it's a long season. I mean, I don't want to overreact and give it.
No.
I know my man Claudio he's already got. They already got a Super Bowl ring already sized up and all of that. And my brother is a Broncos fan, so he felt the wrath of a lot of Dolphin fans. And my brother's he's quick with his words, and for lack of a better word, I can't really clean it up, but. He's like, most of you guys are swimming in your dad's nutsack the last time the Dolphins, won a Super Bowl. He goes, I've seen 8. I've seen them play 8, and I've seen them win 3. So, but I get the excitement with the Dolphins. I mean, down there, they're still wearing Dan Marino jerseys, for God's sakes. I mean, they are so hungry for a Super Bowl, and it is a great fan base. I mean, they are a good fan base. They're long, history in the NFL. So, I mean, it's good for them. Hopefully it works out, but it's a long season. So just like us, we got a little hyped up, man. Sometimes you can get humbled real quick.
Yeah, sometimes, like I said, just pump the brakes. Just pump the brakes. So
and I know we had a comment about Micah Parsons and Tyreek Hill. Those guys are friends. I think it's all in good smack talk. The lion and the cheetah. They do a lot of stuff together, cross promotion, and they did a race against each other and all that. So I think that's maybe the media or someone's trying to make it a bigger deal than it needs to be.
I agree, and I know another question that I've seen in at least a couple times, I believe that I've seen that here in this chat now, where they've asked about Deuce Vaughn. Didn't even see him on the field Sunday.
Yeah.
And I thought they got him involved in that Jets game. And, I thought it looked pretty good. Obviously, you see the speed there. He's a guy that I don't understand why he was not involved in that Cardinals game at all. I know Dowdle was running the ball well. Thought Pollard looked like they were running the ball well, but he just brings a little bit more, and maybe even in the passing game, what he can do in the passing game as a wide receiver, bumping him out at wide receiver, or the screen game. Running some screens. I've also, the Cowboys haven't really run a lot of screens. I thought they would start to utilize some of the screen game this year a little bit more, because we've got guys like a Deuce Vaughn, and you've got a guy like Pollard that also is a home run hitter when he can get out in open space, and haven't really seen a whole lot of that. So I don't know. I don't really have an answer on why Deuce wasn't out there, because I feel like he's a guy that, obviously he's not a power back. He's a speed guy, but
he's small. He's not
small.
averaging. He's not averaging a lot per carry. I mean, he's like 2.7. Doesn't have a lot of opportunities.
Doesn't, but yeah, he hasn't had a lot of opportunities. And when he does, he just, but when he does get out in that space, he is impressive. He is impressive with his speed. He is impressive with his elusiveness. I like what I've seen from him. So he's just a guy that I feel like he needs 5 to 10 snaps every game. You know what I mean? And if he excels and he continues to do that, you gradually work him in a little bit more. Then maybe you get him, more in that, 7 to 13 range, somewhere like that. Depending on the flow of the game and how it's going, obviously you go with a little bit of a hot hand, but I do see him as a playmaker on this offense. And I feel like you got to utilize your playmakers. And, I just feel like, McCarthy and Schottenheimer got to find that they have to find that rhythm and that right mix and balance, obviously, of getting everybody worked in. So
Yeah, and I think where Deuce is best is like you said in space. If he
in
gets the
space,
space, if they're
in
in the
space.
passing game, you get him in an open area. It's just like I think about that one play against the Jets where if he didn't, he kind of like bobbled it a little bit. I mean, I think if he
Yeah,
would have got going, I think it would have been a huge pass play for him. So I
yeah.
think they've got to work that in. I don't know. I saw a couple of people that he could be a red zone. I don't really see him in the red zone unless you're doing something where you're kind of doing a pitch outside,
Pitch
something
to the
where
outside.
he's
Yeah,
wide, but I mean,
yeah.
he's not going to run between tackles. He ended up being flat. But Camber's talking about Rico and Lipke, and Rico showed, he showed some stuff so far.
He
Lipke,
did.
I heard someone on Twitter, compare him to Mike Allstott, and I'm like, whoa, I was here when Mike Allstott was in his prime, and was that you?
No, pump the brakes.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
Pump the
say,
brakes.
but I don't know if I haven't really seen. I mean, he doesn't look like he's blocking that well, unless it's me. But it just doesn't seem like he's as physical as I maybe thought he would be.
He
I
had
like
one
seeing
he had one play where he had the one play where they direct, where they snapped and gave it to him and he ran and got a first down. And
yeah,
then he had another
yep,
play. He did have another play where Pollard ran in behind him on a short yardage situation where Pollard ran in behind his block. In pass blocking situations, I don't know that I've seen a lot from him, but he hasn't. I feel like they're starting to work him a little bit more into the offense because they like what he brings to the table.
yeah,
And he is another guy though that's he's got good hands. If watching his highlights out of college, he can catch the ball just as well as and running the ball. So I do, because he's a bigger, more physical guy. I do like the idea of using him down towards the goal line, and I do like Dowdle because Dowdle. If you watch him when he runs, he hits that line with a different. Pollard's more of a patient, find the
yeah,
hole, hit the hole.
yep,
Dowdle's just like see the hole, and I mean just boom. There's no waiting on it. He's just full speed instantly when he gets the ball. He runs powerful and he runs physical. Those are the kind of guys you want down around the goal line, getting those short yardage carries. So I would agree that if we're going to have a red zone running backs, those are probably the guys to do it.
yeah.
But yeah, yeah,
Deuce can get in the lineup, but the problem is in the red zone, everything gets so tight. To me, it's
it's a
just
lot
there's
more
not a.
congested in the red zone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
think you get him
is.
out in space, getting behind blockers, get behind linemen and things like that. But the thing is, I sometimes I get heat from people because I talk about Pollard. It's never in a negative way. I think Pollard's great. I think his greatest asset is his speed. I think his greatest asset is what he could bring, to the table and what he did last season. And I think sometimes, when you're asking him to be that in between the tackle guy, that physical guy, you're going to take away what makes him great. And the only comparison I can make that would make sense to Cowboys is you look back at Felix Jones. Felix Jones was always
Yeah.
that number 2 guy. They made him the number 1 guy. He never was the same. He lost all of that. I mean, he was averaging some years like 6-7 yards a carry. He was explosive. And he had big runs, and I see a lot of that with Pollard, and that's what worries me when you saw 32 touches, against the Jets, and you're seeing the workload. How is that going to be near the end of the season? Because I don't want to lose what makes Pollard special. So that's why I think we harp on it, and I know Cowboys Nation harps on it, and I know Kelly really harps on it. Is we need a red zone. We need that physical guy that's going to get that short, get the dirty yards, and be physical in between the tackles.
Yeah, and we just don't really have that right now. So it's in my opinion, we don't really have Dowdle. Like I said, I'm not going to discredit anything Dowdle did because I thought he did really good. I was impressed with him running the ball against the Cardinals on Sunday. I thought he did really good, but it's we definitely don't have the bruiser, the guy that I just always felt very confident with Zeke when we had Zeke that if it was third and one, if it was 4th and 1, if it's first and goal, whatever, you give that ball, he's going to find it. I mean, I think I think he had 12 touchdowns last year, and I think 10 of them were down there on the goal line. So I mean, he was a guy that just, if it was on the goal line, there's no denying him. He's getting in. If you give him 3 shots to get in, he's not getting he's not getting denied on that. So
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, it looks like we got someone up. They bounced. It looked like we had someone jump on the camera and then they went away. I don't know what happened, but anyway, yeah. So I mean, those are the things that, you know, with a running, I love running backs. I mean, they're always usually my favorite, but that's why I just say we just got to be careful. But I think we could find it. One of the other things that you kind of touched on, and I saw maybe some people in the chat talking about is, you know, throwing the ball, getting more aggressive, you know, with this offense. And I know, do you think, you know, you're hearing a lot of people talking about it. Do you think that McCarthy, and do you think the Cowboys are being just overly concerned about 1 year where he had some turnovers and they're just afraid? I mean, you can't play afraid. Oh, wait a minute. Before we get going, I think he came back. But hold that thought, Kelly, because you never know who's going to be sneaking into the cave, who's going to be coming up here. And it looks like he might be driving. Hopefully it's going to be all right. But it looks like we might have old Mean Gene. And where you at? You there?
Yeah, Mike, can you see me, baby?
I can see a little bit. You got a light behind you, which is hurting your. But then I might not be able to see it, but I can kind of see it. We can hear you though. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, we can definitely hear you.
What's going on, Eugene?
Now can't see me.
Oh, you got to put that light back on. Now it should help. You're all right. You're good. We can hear you. What's going on, man?
Okay, can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay, come over and see what's going on.
All right, it's a live show. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Mike? How you doing, baby?
Oh, we're just talking about a little bit of Cowboy football. We're talking some Cowboy football, and we were reminiscing.
Hey, guys. Hey, Mike, can you see me?
I can barely see you, but I can hear you. That's the most important thing.
All right.
There's just a glare in the background, but if you take that off, then we can't see you. So it is what it is. You're in the car. More importantly, what the hell's going on?
Here. Hey.
Yes.
What's going on, man?
What is going on? So now we really can't see it. Turn that light back on. We're talking about what you told Kelly about never overlooking an opponent, and I wish the Cowboys were listening to you when you're giving that passionate speech.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know, I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised by no sense, because as I told you guys last week, and you guys gonna start listening to my black ass, because when I tell you something, I'm telling the truth. And again, people will call it a trap game. This is a trap game. This is just like Deion Sanders and his team. Was that a trap game? No. It's because, just as I told you, every single body that plays the Cowboys, it's like their Super Bowl.
Yep.
I say, therefore, the problem becomes leadership. And if the leaders of this football team knew exactly what in their mind that the players are going to be thinking, well, this is going to be an easy game, they would do something more. They'll make them practice harder. They'll spend more film time. They'll do something to let them know that at any given time, any team can beat your ass. Because don't take this for granted, guys. They watch film just like we do.
Yeah.
They see Michael Parsons, bam, coming down like there's nobody there. So what did they do? They play off that. They went to an option. And then here's the deal. The Cowboys hadn't practiced that. They didn't know who to take, the quarterback or to take the pitch. Therefore, he's crashing down, and it didn't even matter because the corner was already gone, and the quarterback just had free sailing. That's what I'm talking about. Just because you watch film on them before, those offensive and defensive coordinators, they trying to find your strength and your weaknesses. Here's the big deal. Regardless of the play call, you came out there flat like a 3-day-old beer that's been opened. That's the way you came out. Here's the difference between a champion and a wannabe champion. Champions, they win the game that they know they're supposed to, regardless of where they play. Cowboys had more fans there than Arizona.
Yeah.
But the team came out like they were so damn cold, so cool. Like, just because they're the Dallas Cowboys and they just beat two other teams. And you got to remember, when they beat the Jets, they really didn't look that good, but they won.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a Phi Beta Kappa. Look at what Philadelphia did the other night. Look at the teams that know that they have capabilities of being in the Super Bowl, and they're doing everything they possibly can. But it starts with leadership. Instead of going out Thursday night, they should have been over somebody's house watching film to let them know how important this game is. Now, this one game can determine whether they're NFC champs or they got to go on the road and play.
Yep.
And the tragedy is this. Bill Belichick saw it. New England Patriots, they saw it. They saw what it took. What did their defense do different? What Arizona defense do different? They knew that they didn't have the capability of stopping them up close. So what they do? They moved the safeties back, and they kept everything in front of them. Now, Mike McCarthy, offensive coordinator, head coach, been to the Super Bowl. I've told you guys this before. The coaches who win, the teams that are magnificent, the Tom Landrys, the Bill Parcells, those guys, they make adjustments at halftime. These guys made no adjustments. And here's the thing that bothers you the most is this, is that your head coach didn't think that the backups could do what they necessarily needed to in order to not have to change the damn game plan. Why would you change the game plan? And you got multi-millionaires backing up, getting a damn check. Why would you have to change it? That means that you either got some bad draft choices, something's going wrong. That's why I'm telling you, this damn team will be the same way it was last 2 or 3 years, unless they make some major adjustments. I've never seen.
Is that fixable, Eugene? I mean, you later. I mean, is this something? I mean, could this be used as a wake up call? Could this be used as something that motivates them to let them know this shit can't happen again, or is this just something that's cultural in the
Hey, again, you're a Cowboy fan.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I love the Cowboys, but I'm not gonna BS you. Yeah, it's fixable. It's fixable when you get your all-world Hall of Fame tackle off his black ass and get him out there on the football field. It's fixable if you let everybody on that team know the sense of urgency that we don't have. This year is a sense of urgency. We can't be 12-2 or whatever. It's imperative that they instill within these guys how important it is to wear the star on their helmet. It's imperative that even though it looks like you may be injured, there's a difference between being hurt or in pain. Which one is the worst? But the thing that counts, do you have the intestinal fortitude? Do you have the grit on the inside of you that say, hey, I may be hurting a little bit, but I know this is our chance to get to a Super Bowl. So therefore, we're going into the desert. And when we leave there, there's going to be water flowing everywhere. And then everybody's going to be cool after the Cowboys leave the desert. But instead, you tell me. Now, everybody's questioning. But I promise you this. One of the smartest coaches in the NFL right now is Bill Belichick. He's a defensive guru. And if you think they had some problems last week, you wait. You wait until Sunday at about 3:15, 3:30. You wait.
I'm going to be there. There ain't no way they're losing that game. I don't care what you say,
Okay,
Eugene.
I'm not talking about winning or losing.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna put a different twist to it. And if offensive coordinator, if you're not ready for what he's getting ready to present to you, if you don't present them all the things that could happen and prepare them for if this happened, then this happened, then this, you're gonna be in for a long day. Then it's gonna be some disappointing Cowboy fans. I told you guys about 3 weeks ago. I told you, Cowboy fans out there. I said, you want some people. You want a few people that's hungry. I said, you want some people that's willing to spend the next 20 weeks hungry for a Super Bowl, hungry for identity. I told you guys, you need some people that's hungry. I don't know about you, but that team that you threw out there on that damn field, they wasn't hungry. They were satisfied with being 2-0. The Cowboys are an appetizer team. They're not a dessert team yet. Now, say to Will and May, the truth is what it is. If you think last week was bad, if they don't get off their ass and present something better than they did this week, it's going to be a long season. It's going to be a long season. And the tragedy is the fans deserve a hell of a lot more.
You goddamn right they do.
Yeah.
Now, you put that in your pipe and smoke it.
No, I'm telling you, but listen to me, Eugene. I gotta, I hear you, and that, I think that's one of the concerns that it's always been on this team. You got the pulse of the locker. You understand how all this stuff is, being an All-Pro, being a player. It's always been said there's a cultural difference in the Cowboys because it starts at the top, and maybe these players are being coddled a little bit. Maybe they got the door to the owner. They could just walk right in. I mean, does the culture create this type of performance that we're seeing, or is it just the guys on the team? Because this has been happening since the end of the era in the 90s. I mean, this is
Go on, said Mike. Go on. It's been happening since Jerry Jones has been there.
Well,
just tell the damn truth. Tell it what it is. Hey, man, you a man, and it is what it is. Cultural. We didn't have the only time you could walk in the Tom Landry room is when you knew that you had did something wrong, or if he invited you in there. You don't go in and talk to him about play calling or about the coach, or, well, the coach benched me, or I need to start. You don't go in and tell him about your personal feelings. By the way, what the hell feelings got to do with anything when it comes to a team? See, when an individual walk in there, it's all about him. We need to get a whole bunch of 45 guys that is not just about them. It's about the damn team. It's about the focus. It's about the vision, the purpose. It's about the plan that's been laid out before training camp. It's about whether you're going to show up or whether you're not. Whether you're going to be average, whether you're going to be good, or whether you're going to be necessary or you're going to be meaningful. What are you going to be? See, now it becomes a choice. The choice is, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as NFC champion? Do you see yourself in the Super Bowl? Did you do enough to get there? What are you waiting? Are you hungry? It still go back to the same thing I told you. You want to feel hungry man. I don't know about you, but they regurgitated. They threw up some of the victory that they call themselves consuming.
No.
Now, I just want to know, did they drink enough Pepto-Bismol to get rid of that shit and get themselves ready to play?
The one thing is what I mean, you tried to tell Kelly. And I mean,
I told you too. Don't put on Kelly. I told you.
Let me finish. Kelly had that attitude of just rest everybody. Who gives a shit? We're gonna roll them over. That's the problem. Try to explain that to Kelly because he's talking that again.
Hey, Kelly, like I told you, dog. Hey,
You did. You did. Hey, you know,
I told you.
I will say
you.
Tyron Smith did look like he was pissed.
It's not about your location. It's about your destination. Let me say that again. It's all right to be satisfied with beating New York Jets or the Giants. You beat the Jets without their quarterback. You beat the Giants because they're just really not that good. But they have the same record you do. No. Why don't we, as a Cowboy team, why don't we separate ourselves? Why do we not say, hey, we're America's team. The first two games wasn't really who we are. We're gonna show you a little bit something different. We're not gonna let Alabama come in here and beat us because the way they played this past week, Crimson side, I don't know about Alabama, but anybody could have beat them. Hey, when you give up that many yards on defense, and you know we have perhaps the best defense that we've had since I played. When you sack 4 or 5 times, when you make bad decisions, look at this. You in plus territory, 20 yards in. The Cowboys are what? 3 and about 20? 21?
Yeah, they're not very good in the red zone. Yeah, we talked.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Now, you tell me there wouldn't be a day off because Mike McCartney, he needs to really be worried about his job. And you can say what you used to do and how you used to do it. And some of these players need to understand. And for the umps in me, it tears my heart apart to see that the players are not nowhere near that what we were when we played. Sprained ankle? What is wrong? Man, please. Come on.
Go ahead.
Come on, man. And you know what? It's just not fair. It's not fair to present this to the fans. The fans. What does Jared? Let me tell you where it also comes from. It also comes from an owner that's name is all over the newspaper about women, girls, all of these things. If you think that this doesn't affect a family, it does. When your owner, let's say, when your daddy step outside of the family and everybody, even the Supreme Court, says that no, your ass you're gonna be held accountable. So you see, you can dismiss it all you want because you may be scared. I'm not. I'm just telling you the truth. Daddy can't step out and expect the little kids to be the best that they can be. Kelly, I'm just gonna tell you, I know you look like you got disappointment all over your face. You are white. You as pale as I ever seen you, Kelly. I ain't never seen you this damn pale. But hey, Mike, you have kids.
Yes.
You're a family man.
Yes.
Let something like that happen to you. What does it affect? It affects the entire family.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so don't take it for granted. But here's the deal. You paying these guys multi-million-dollars. Dak Prescott got to get his ass together. I don't care.
Yeah.
Again, I'm telling you something. They talk about after 3 or 4 years how Zeke has slowed down. If you look at Prescott and the way that he runs, it looked like he was full, like he needed to go to the restroom. He didn't look like a quarterback that's scrambling that can make something happen. Again, now, here's the deal. Because they got the safeties up high, he was indecisive all day long. Yeah. How do you miss McAgallup the way he did? Come on, man.
No. Well, let me ask you, Eugene, because you're one of the most fierce competitors. We see the passion. We understand what the hell's going on with you. One thing that puzzles me, the Cowboys they got beat. Let's say, I mean, I'm going to say they got their ass whooped with 12-point favorites. You lose by 12. Would you be exchanging jerseys and swapping jerseys and signing with the other team?
You see there? That tells you that tells you how much it means, because there is no way, if I was the captain of a team and I saw you out there glorifying it with the opponent, taking your jersey off, signing it for them, you get your ass in that damn dressing room so fast. Not only did you just get your ass beat on the field, I'm finna beat your ass. Take that damn jersey back. Matter of fact, who in the hell want it? Who want some shit that you just got beat at? Who want that?
Yeah.
Where you gonna put it? Where you gonna put it?
Yeah. I don't understand. Like, I get to do it outside, like, out of the
so nobody can see it.
Not a good look.
So nobody can see it. Talk to the guy, man. Look here, I'll meet you at over there by the bus or something like that. But when you're doing it on national TV, that just shows how this team is built. And I promise you, man. I'm at a loss of words, and I'm gonna tell you this, and you may not believe it. New England gonna beat their ass. New England gonna beat their ass because, again, they don't have enough leadership to say you got to have a short memory. You gotta forget about that, because soon as they get into a situation, they're gonna start thinking about last week. And see, now it should be already entwined with them. Forget about last. This is a brand new game. This is a brand new day. Yep. The team, look at it. The elite team. Look at Philadelphia. Look at the 49ers. Look at the team that keep on beating you. And every week, look at them. They didn't come out playing, man. Those guys meant business. And I promise you, Arizona looked like the Cowboys that we wish we were.
Yeah.
No,
they did. That defense played with more intensity than we did.
Got all over our butt, and the offense made every time the first half. Every time they touched the ball, they scored.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
No, it was. I mean, they tightened up in the second half, but I think this is.
You keep on. You know what, Mike? Mike, you're a typical Cowboy fan. You're typical. You know. Oh yeah, well they tightened up bullshit.
Look,
bullshit. Hey, this is Cowboys. This supposed to be Cowboys cave. And in the cave is where it's real. In the cave is supposed to be. I'm gonna tell you the real truth. In the cave, it's hard to come in the cave if you don't have some intestinal fortitude. You can't come in the cave and expect me to bullshit. Get your butt out of the cave, Mike, if you don't want to do it right.
Man, now Eugene is all on Mike. But Eugene, seriously, first two things. One, I think if this Cowboys team comes out and plays flat and has another performance like they did against Arizona and they lose to New England, then I think that this Cowboys team is not a team that's going to be a team that's going to be there in the end. That'll be a playoff team, because if you're losing two games like that to two inferior opponents, one, you got bigger problems, and two, you're not a team that belongs along with the elite or to be mentioned with the elite. But to back that up, do you honestly think that you see this team coming out after a performance like they did? Do you see them coming out and not having a response to this New England team? I feel like these guys got some. I feel like all these guys on this team have pride. They're NFL football players playing at the highest level. You got to have pride. You just got your ass kicked. I feel like this team's going to come out and have a response to New England after hearing everything that they've heard. They say they don't listen to the outside noise, but obviously they do. They were feeling themselves going into Arizona. They got smacked in the mouth. I expect them to come out and look much better against New England. What do you think about that? Do you think this team's not going to have a response?
My buddy, let me tell you something. That was so cute. You know, I want you to speak at my funeral if I die before you. you sound so like, what you think about him? He did everything he possibly could, and they got the butt kick, but I expect him. No, they don't. See, you don't ask no question like that, because if this team would have showed up, you wouldn't have to. What do I expect them to do? I expect them to play up to their level. And just like the coach said, the playoffs, the playoffs. No.
Stop.
Hey.
Well, here's the deal, Eugene.
Let me
Now
tell
you're
you
getting
this. Let me
fired
tell you
up. I'm
something.
in the cave. You
Let
want
me
me to
tell
bring
you.
it?
Let me
I'll
tell you
tell you what,
this.
I'm sick of this shit. It's been 27 years. They
Yeah.
came out flat. They look like shit against Arizona. We all felt it. We're all hurting from it. But I'm going to tell you this. This team's going to learn a valuable lesson. They learned a valuable lesson, and they're going to come out to New England, and they're going to whoop that ass, and we're going to see the Cowboys that we expect to see. I'm going to use this as motivation. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to get these guys getting their shit together. What do you think about that?
That is so Billy. You're so cute when you get red. You know what? You should go in and give a motivational speech. But that's not what it's going to take,
That's
buddy.
going to happen. Eugene,
That's
I'm
not,
going to be there. I'm telling you it's going to happen. Sunday, we can have a steak dinner bet on it. You want to have a steak dinner, or what are we doing?
Mike, I want to be like Mike. I want to be, hey, dog, if every one of those players felt like you feel, yeah, you believe that. But again, they'll come out. But let me tell you again, it starts with leadership. It starts with leadership. It starts with the Michael Parsons or with the Lawrence. It starts with the leaders of this football team saying that, hey, we got our butt kicked. Let me tell you something. I see on the sidelines Tyron Smith. I see all these guys that's hurt off the offensive line. Not one of these guys go over to the guys that's playing, encourage them, tell them what to expect and how to do things different. And by the way, let me give that offensive line a little kudos, because they played good enough to win.
They did. 3 guys down.
But you got this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer, all everything. You don't see him not one time going over there talking to the tackle. You don't see the guard, all pro, all going up there talking to the guys, giving them encouragement. That's leadership.
Yeah.
That's leadership. That's letting them know that, hey, we're behind you. We're watching you. You don't see that. And that's the tragedy.
No, you don't see it in their face. I don't see it. I gotta agree with you. I don't see it. I don't see it.
You don't see them. The only time you see the Cowboys when they corral them is when they're on top. Tell me about it. When every time that a person on top, people want to pick them up, let them know they're the top team, but fall down a little bit. Let me tell you this. It's just like our lives. We can have big dreams. And I know we guys are dreaming that the Cowboys will get to the Super Bowl and go to Las Vegas and dreams. Dream on and dream big. Here's the tragedy. Your dream is your dream. It's 45 men on that team. They should all be on the same dream. The dream is forget the playoffs. We're going to the Super Bowl. But here's the deal. Arizona sneaked in on them. And now, if you don't have enough leadership, if you don't have enough fortitude, if you don't have enough get up and come back, then what about your dream? If you're going to dream, you got to dream on. And you got to dream big. And you cannot let small minds convince you that you can't achieve your dream. Dream on and dream big. And if you ever feel like you're going to fall, you got to land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. And when you get up, you gotta rise and grind. Rise and grind. I just want to see if they're hungry enough to rise and grind. I want to know if they studied just a little bit harder. They know their opponents. They know their strengths and weaknesses. They're hungry enough. I just want to know if we have 45 Dallas Cowboys, America's team players. I want to know if they're hungry. I want to know if they still can dream. Dream on and dream big.
Well, God damn it, I'm hungry. I don't know if they're hungry, but I'm hungry.
Are you hungry, Jerry?
You know I'm hungry. You were singing so many "Dream On" though. I was about to put on Aerosmith's "Dream On" because I'm hearing "Dream On" in my head. Aerosmith with all that.
Yes, sir. Hey, man. Hey, it's again. I told you before the season. You can feel it in the atmosphere when you walk around Dallas, Texas. Everybody was on board with how great this team looked.
Yeah.
And again, let me tell you something, sir. When the head is not on the same team, and it's a shame. It truly is a shame.
Yeah.
That you got an owner that's so messed up. And it's and I love Jerry. I really do. But I pray for him that he gets it right. That he gets it right. That he understands this team is not going to go any further. You cannot continue to screw over people and expect good things to happen to you. I don't care who America's team is. I don't care. But, hey, you can't expect your children to do good when you're being fouled. You don't have to wonder why they're throwing interceptions, why it should be touchdowns. You shouldn't have to worry about whether your defense, the number one defense, is being clowned over because you're clowning over society. You got this Dallas Cowboy nation so screwed up because of you so goddamn screwed up. And you think it's okay. And now you don't have an answer. It's just not right. Just live a little right, Jerry. Just have some kind of morals and respect for, if not even for yourself, but for your team and the people who buy these $300 tickets. See, Jerry,
I wish my ticket was $300.
I promise you, until something changes with leadership, you'll never win the Super Bowl. You'll never see it. And we'll never see it until you die. And that's to tell God honest truth, because you're foul. Yeah. And you're taking people for granted. And I don't care what nobody's saying. I feel sorry for all the fans and all the great people that you are around because you're foul. And it's just not right. And I'm the only maybe the only brother to tell you, because I'm not scared. I'm not scared at all. But I'm telling you something. It just doesn't make sense to have this great a team and to make it so foul. Yeah. It looked just like you when the Supreme Court told you you'll have to bring your ass to trial. Now, the Cowboys are on trial now, and we'll see if the judge going to say guilty or not guilty, and we'll know what kind of team they'll be by the outcome on this Sunday. If you lose this Sunday, church is out. The benediction has been done. All thing you need is an offering plate. Yeah. That's the real deal.
Well, more importantly, the more important thing is, are we going to be meeting up on Saturday night? Is Tag?
Hey, big dog. Hey. I tell you what, I can't wait to see you guys. I'm talking about, you know what? Hey, I love you guys, man. And I love that you have me a part of you guys. And I appreciate the opportunity to tell you really, I did this for a long time. And I'm not going to bring you no BS. I'm just going to tell you exactly just the way it is. And again, the fans need to know the real deal. We don't need nobody just to make them feel to tickle their hearts and make them feel good. We need somebody to stand up and be the America's team and to be what we expect them to be. There is no way that on this day that we should be talking about being 2-1. No. Come on, man.
No.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Hey, you see what happened? San Francisco, they award their 2 general managers with new contracts. Why? Because they wake up to win. Because they're doing things structurally right. Because the leadership is in place. The leadership is not taking it for granted. You don't hear about their owner. You don't see him on TV shows and get your ass and sit down somewhere and let these players perform, and you just reap the benefits. It is what it is. And you guys, I'll say it, but I'm telling you, it's the problem. And only thing you hear now in Dallas is how screwed up the leadership is. And see, it went from that atmosphere to, hey, this is what it is. And again, I'm not trying to bust your bubbles. I'm just trying to alert you to let you know if this team come out anywhere like it was. Now, I'm going to tell you something else happening. Zeke is coming home. Zeke is coming back home. And if you don't think that he wants to run it down their throat, if you don't think that he wants to put their ass in the Salvation Army tub, if you don't think that he going to make them wish that they never got rid of, again, this is, if you don't think that young man is so thrilled and so happy, but again, I hope and pray that the fans embrace him and let him know how much they appreciate him for the work that he done here, because he done a lot of good things here, and we just ought to just let him know how much we appreciate him. And then
we will. They will. I mean, I love Zeke and great family, and I think, right, Kelly? I think it'll be good.
I think he'll get a good ovation. I think he will. And it goes without mentioning. I will say this, for whatever this is worth. Last 2 years under Mike McCarthy, this Cowboys team is yet to lose 2 games in a row. Last 2 years. So they've responded well after losses. And I would be very disappointed if a team this talented, that's been pumped up, talked about, we look at the talent on this roster top to bottom, if this team came out and laid another egg and had a flat performance at home, of all places, against the New England Patriots, which I get they got a good coach, but Mac Jones is not a good quarterback, and that Cowboys defense should feast on his ass. They should eat off him.
Let me ask you this. Was Dobbs a good quarterback?
He was not. He is not.
Okay.
He can run the ball, though. He can run the ball.
Okay. Dobbs wasn't a good quarterback. Who ever heard of Dobbs? Mac Jones is a quarterback that we've heard of. But it ain't about them two. It's about Belichick, McCarthy. It's about Dan Quinn, and I don't even think New England have an offensive coordinator. I don't know. So it's not about the quarterback. It's about, hey, who is hungry, want it bad enough to go out and get the thing done. At the end of the day, when the Cowboys take that field, people need to know that they are for real. People need to know it from the first snap to the end of the game.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the real.
They gotta bring it. Let me ask you, G. We got a couple great people in the chat. So Casey, her aunt was a Cowboys cheerleader for the team in the 90s, and she was born in 2000. All she wants is one Super Bowl. Do you think she's going to be able to at least see one Super Bowl in her lifetime, or should we? What do we?
How old is she?
She was born in 2000, so she's got to be 23.
You are 23, okay. How old is Jerry?
Jerry's 80. What is he, in his 80s?
Jerry's in his 80s.
Yeah. So how much longer you think he'll live?
He's probably got a solid, I don't know. I don't want to say 5, 6 years.
Okay.
5, 6.
So tell her at 31, 32, she'll probably see the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. it won't be before then. Until Jerry dies.
That's going to put me in my 50s, man. What's going on with that?
Well, hell, I'm 62. You 50.
Hey.
But we talking about that girl.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, but hey, again, if it's done right, I'll tell you what, man. it just pays. It pays not to think of yourself so much, so high and so. I'm talking about, and again, I love Jerry Jones. I do. I love him. He's a great motivator. I'm talking about.
Good
But
businessman.
the things of late, man, is
Yeah.
just foul. And I'm telling you, as a father, you can't do that and expect good things to happen to your family. And you're not just talking about Charlotte, Jerry Jr. and Steven. You're talking about Cowboys Nation. When
Yes.
you screw up, again, look at Dan Snyder. He lost the team.
Yeah.
What's the difference between him and Jerry? What's the difference? None.
Well, I mean, and the thing is with the Cowboys, I got a message from someone who's in Germany. He wants to meet up there. I mean, we got people flying in from Germany. I know the UK Cowboys. Those guys, they fly in for games, and you got Cowboys fan in Canada. They got a whole group flying into games, and I mean, this is a world's team. And it is 27 years has been too damn long, but they got to get a Super Bowl. They got to get a Super Bowl this year. Screw this shit. I don't care. Whatever. They got to win in spite of.
You're right. And they can come from UK, Germany, Egypt, all over the world. You can have your politicians, the presidents sitting by your seats, all of that. But God damn it, let me tell you this. If you ain't got something on that field, they just gonna be a whole bunch of disappointed people that gotta travel a long way.
A long way to see an ass whooping.
To see an ass whooping. So again, I know you guys. The thing I love about you is you know that I'm gonna keep it real with you.
No, we love it.
You know that I'm gonna give you the real. You know that I'm gonna give you family. I'm gonna give you love. I'm gonna give you faith. I'm gonna give you everything that I know that how it's supposed to happen, and then you don't have to like me, and that doesn't surprise me.
We love you. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know this. I love the hell out of you, and if you hate me, let me give you my number: 214-536-5654, and tell me how much you hate me, but you love me. Tell me how much you hate me, but you love me.
We're gonna get you. I'm gonna be getting you into my hometown. We're gonna be getting you out to Tampa soon.
Yeah,
a great Cowboys crew there, and we're gonna do some fun. We're gonna do a live show. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Meet some Cowboy fans. So we're gonna schedule that up. We'll figure out something to work. So we're gonna make it happen.
Hey, I love you guys. I gotta go to another function.
All right, man. I'll see you.
I gotta go to a function. But hey, you guys keep me in your prayers.
Yep.
Cowboy Nation, keep me in your prayers.
Absolutely.
I'll be going to surgery on next Thursday, but keep me in prayers, okay? And you'll see me soon. I am Eugene Lockhart, and I approve this message.
There we go. I'll see you Saturday night. Take care, buddy.
God bless you guys.
Right.
Bye-bye.
All right. So from what I understand, and I got it here, just the purpose. So if Eugene, what he's saying, if you're wishing for a Super Bowl this year, that's what we got from Eugene.
Oh,
dream on. He kept saying "dream on," and I queued the song up. I said, all I could think about was Aerosmith, but he makes some good points. Obviously, he's Eugene is about as passionate as you can get on there. But
yeah, Mark, I just want to let you know I did talk to Eugene. He's good. He'll come out to Tampa. He'll hang out in Dallas. Kenny Gann is supposed to let me know his schedule, but I think it's just so tight, less than a week away. And I'm also working on a wide receiver for a two-time Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys that we're trying to work something out to get him out as well. So, Mark, we'll definitely hook up. But Mark's one of the guys that's over the Tampa Bay Cowboys Nation. We got to get you out there, Kelly, too. We got to do a road show and get this thing going because they got a wild crew and it's a lot of fun. So I'm chomping at the bit to get out there to hang. I love hanging with Cowboy fans. And when I do it at AT&T, and I made this because you'll see your boy, we're coming back to town. I need to make sure you guys, Cowboy Nation, you're going to be ready because I'm landing, touching down Saturday morning. You know, I waste no time. I get out there real early. So we're going to have a good time. Mark said he might even meet me for breakfast. We'll see what happens.
Hey, there you go. You got Mark to take, Mark to pick you up and take you to breakfast at where did you guys go last time? Cracker Barrel?
Cracker Barrel. And listen, this is why I'm telling you guys, if you're still hanging with us, we're going for an hour and 40 minutes. We are, I got to do Jimmy Johnson, put it in 3-inch bold letters. We will win the game. I have a routine. It never fails. I land, I go to Cracker Barrel, I run to the stadium, I go to the Walmart, and then I'm going up to Frisco. This time we're going to do a little tour at the Star. If anyone's going to be up there in the late morning, early afternoon, hopefully maybe I'll catch up with you. And we're going to see, to use Eugene's words, we're going to whoop that ass. We ain't getting our ass whooped. We're going to whoop that ass on Sunday. And I'm staying in Dallas the whole week. So Kelly, it might just be you and Eugene on Wednesday. I'm leaving you in good hands.
Well, you let the inmates run the asylum. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean?
See if we still have a YouTube channel after that.
We'll see. I try to keep the F-bombs at a minimum. But no, I agree with you, man. I don't think I would be shocked. I would be disappointed as hell if we didn't beat New England on Sunday.
Yeah.
First of all, like I said, it's worth pointing out. Like I said, 2 years in a row now, Cowboys have yet to lose 2 games in a row. They tend to respond very well after a loss. Yeah. And I think that this game is going to be tight, which brings us to, let's start throwing out some predictions in the chat, guys, and tell us what you think as far as score predictions. But I think this is going to be I think it'll be a tighter game than what we have seen in terms of the first 2 wins that we had. But I don't foresee this team dropping a game. I just to New England. I don't think Mac Jones. Now I get it. I get what Eugene was saying about Dobbs not being a great quarterback because Dobbs is not a great quarterback. But Mac Jones doesn't have the mobility that Dobbs had to run. You're not going to see Mac Jones bust out for a 50-yard run on the edges of this defense. He's not fast enough to get the edges on this defense. I don't see that being a problem. But I don't know. We were gonna write our predictions down on paper. Did you remember to do that?
I did not, but I will. I will. I don't have a pen.
I was thinking about that. I don't have a pen here. I was thinking. I was like,
here's what I'm going to do.
Right.
I'm going to put mine in the chat, and you're going to see me click. So I'm going to put mine in the chat, and you're going to see me. You're going to see me click, and my hands are going to be free, and I'm not going to say nothing. You're going to see me use my mouse. I'm going to let you go first. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to take I think the Cowboys get this win. I'm feeling this one at a 27-17 is what I'm going to call that one.
All right. I just posted mine, 27-10.
27-10. Again, we're close in. We tend to think alike. So similar score. I see this as being a tighter game. I don't see Zeke being a huge factor in this game. Not taking anything away from Zeke. He can run the ball, and he's been running the ball pretty well for the Patriots. I think his running style suits our defense, if that makes any sense. He's not one of them speed shifty backs that's going to get to the outside and bust loose on the linebackers. They're going to be able to contain him. He's more running between the tackles kind of guy, maybe get some hard yards. But I see this defense forcing Mac Jones into an interception. I think we'll get an interception this game. I'd like to see it come from Bland. My biggest want in this game, though, is I want to see a deep touchdown. I want to see Dak have one of those, 50, 60-yard touchdowns, whether it's Cooks, whether it's Gallup, CD, I don't care who it is. I just want to see a bomb. I want to see them, throw a long pass, get the defensive secondary to start respecting the long ball, because right now I really don't feel they do. I feel right now defenses are really taking advantage of the fact that we're kind of dinking and dunking. So
Yep.
I'd like to see them start to respect the fact that Dak can throw the ball deep and is a very accurate passer when throwing deep. When people tell me Dak can't throw the long ball, Dak's a dink and dunk guy, Dak throws interceptions, blah, 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 blah. No, I look at these plays, man. I look at the dime that he threw last year to T.Y. Hilton on 3rd and 30. That was a huge play in that Eagles game, Christmas Eve. You know, you look at some of the passes where he's put that ball right on the money. Dak has accuracy. It's just, you know, sometimes it gets a little bit too in his head. Sometimes it's what the defense is doing. But, you know, Dak needs to get out there, play free, play loose, and let's get back to business. Let's get back to winning ways.
Yeah, I think it's just they need, like you said, so you start fast, and I think they need to attack. And I think they got to take the handcuffs off for whatever reason. If they're on there, they need to attack their defense. They've got that young cornerback who's doing pretty good. Obviously, they got the pass rush. Their defense is going to be solid, but I just think we got to press them, get ahead, and then just kind of hopefully pull away. I think this is a game Dallas will be comfortable. My buddy's a Patriots fan, and I told him that today. I said, look, I respect the Patriots. I respect Belichick. I just think Dallas is going to be at home. I understand what Eugene said, respect what Eugene said. I just think this team's going to play with some anger, some chip on the shoulder.
I do
and
too.
I just think Dallas will just kind of stay ahead of this game and win, comfortably. It's probably going to be a boring game. I don't think it's going to be this great game. I think it's just be one of those kind of, Belichick usually has those where it's not really, it's kind of one of those boring,
Super exciting,
games.
Yeah. It's just going to be a game where it'll be a slow paced, time consuming drives, game like that. But I do feel Dak will look more comfortable this week. I don't think he'll, I foresee a game where he doesn't turn the ball over. He's not forced into making any plays and doing anything like that. Like you said, playing a little bit free, but I do want to see them stretch the field some. And red zone, we got to get better in the red zone. I want to see this team be better in the red zone. If they have another game where we're 1 for 4, 2 for 5, whatever, in the red zone, that's not acceptable. They have got to fix that shit. And like you said, they've got to do it this week.
It's tight ends. We got to be rolling, right? I want to feel good because next week, the week after, we're not going to look ahead, but the week after, we got a game that I want to go into that game feeling good.
Absolutely. And one thing that I know people have talked about, they talked about, and honestly, I feel like this is a Jay Tuck and Des Bryant thing. They're the ones that got this thing moving, got some momentum going on it, because that's where I started seeing it first, was the whole Kyle Pitts thing, right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'd love to have Kyle Pitts on this offense because I think he's wasting away in Atlanta, and he's a great talent, underutilized. They're barely throwing the guy the ball, but I think that we're good with our tight ends. I think that I really do. I still think that we're good with our tight ends. I think our tight ends are good. They got to start creating space. They got to start, making plays down in the red zone. But I would just tell you this, when it comes to a wish list of the Dallas Cowboys, you know what I'm saying? If we had a wish list of what we could get, I'm either going to get a linebacker or a defensive tackle. If we could get one person to add to this team, it's going to be a defensive tackle or linebacker. Now, for me personally, I tweeted out the other day, I said, the hell with Kyle Pitts, go get me Aaron Donald. That'd be the guy that, honestly, if you could get an Aaron Donald, that's the guy. Right?
No,
if for some reason the Rams are out of it and they're like, hey, they start shopping Aaron Donald, I would be all over that. I can add an Aaron Donald to this defense, take it up another league. But it's just fun to, have people, throw out names and stuff, because you never know. The Cowboys could be in the mix for somebody. They could.
I don't see it, but it's fun. It's fun conversation, but it's interesting how these little rumors fly all over the place. But it's the thing is, linebackers, they got to step up. I think the tight ends, we want to feel, like I said, we got to feel good about everything going in after this game. I don't want us to have a show, next week and we're like, oh man, we got to hope that I want to go in feeling good and confident like we were before Arizona. Arizona stripped our confidence. The Cowboys got to get that confidence back. They got to get what we like to say down at the U. They got to get that swag back, and they got to send a message. That's why I said, a statement needs to be made Sunday. All kidding aside, all bullshit aside, they have got to they've got to get that bad taste out of their mouth from the
Agreed.
Arizona. And Arizona's beat us like 7 out of the last 8 games. I mean, sometimes I don't know. It's just sometimes weird things happen. I try and look at the positive side. I know Eugene said I'm one of those fans. Well, I am. I'm a positive fan. I can't help it. But the Broncos kind of had, they have our numbers in some weird way that we never beat them, since the early 90s. So we'll see. But make sure if you guys are still hanging with us, we're wrapping up. If you hadn't hit that like yet, I know I've seen some people reminding, please, thank you so much. Hit that like. Always leave a comment. Like if you say, hey, great show, good, whatever. Just don't leave any negative stuff unless it's to Kelly. No, I'm just kidding. But leave a comment in there. Anything that you do that interacts with the shows, it affects the algorithm and it improves our traction and it lets us get more visibility. Most of the people that find us aren't on Twitter. That's what I was saying earlier, as well as Kelly and I are on social media, and as we try and stay active, most of our subscribers, and it's really true with a lot of YouTube channels, it's the browse feature. It's what shows up, what pops up on the screen. And the way things pop up on the screen is if you hit that like, if you hit that share, if you leave a comment, anything where there's interaction, it creates a buzz on that video, and that's what people end up seeing. So that's the science behind it. But either way, we appreciate you guys, man, especially hanging out with us for 2 hours.
Absolutely.
And, I don't know about you, but I need a drink after listening to Eugene Lockhart. Either that or I need to go to church. I don't know which one it is yet.
One of the two, or both. Or both.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up, but make sure again, hit that like, subscribe, share. If you're going to be at AT&T, you guys, I'm pretty easy. Don't Instagram. I'm not really that active on, but Twitter, just hit me a DM. Let me know that you're going to be out there. And I don't have a schedule, but typically game day, we're walking around or we'll be at Texas Live Saturday night or whatever. I'm going to have my wife with me. So I got to be on my best behavior. So, that's just the way it is, but got some friends and one would be a Patriots fan, but we're going to have a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to live once again vicariously through you this week. Obviously, I wish I could be at every Cowboys game, but it doesn't work out like that. But you'll hold it down, man. I got confidence. If Tag's in the building, we already know this is a wrap. So it's happening. It's going down. Getting the win. Get back on track. Get back in the win column. Get this loss out of our mouth. Get this nasty taste out of our mouth. And get back to the winning ways.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, Cowboys Nation, we will leave you. We'll update some more, but we'll leave you with it. We'll see you guys. We'll leave you with some good times. We'll see you. If not Monday, Sunday, Saturday, we may be popping in whenever. You guys take care.
Meeting is going to be commencing real soon because we getting ready to get this party started. Can you feel me? Can you?